After such a wonderful talk, it puts me in a difficult position to take it at that level. Rational ideas, a lot of good takeaways, Samskruti. And my sincere request is whoever takes that Pani Puri initiative, please remember me. At least 20 puris you need to have for me whenever you do try the first time. I'll take 10 to 12 minutes max. We will now get into future. A lot of initiatives have been done. And you have really absorbed a lot. And I heard from Mr. Padmar that a lot of you are involved in academics. My sincere thanks to all the teachers here for shaping the future of Gen Z and the future of Bharat. Being from the IT industry and being in charge of the business, if somebody asked me, can you make a business plan for Viksit Bharat in 2047? Anybody can come and do, and like as Doctor was saying, we can do a chat GPT, we can come up with a beautiful, terms, and I can throw a lot of words around. But that's not the point. The point is, what is that you and me can do? 2047. So we have very accomplished people sitting here. We have the Disha Bharat lady sitting here. We have Mr. Vijay sitting here. We have our young friends, Hegde sitting. A lot of people that I know. What is it we can do at our scale? What exactly is Viksit Bharat? So I'll take it in 3 steps. Number 1, we have to understand where we are in the macroeconomics and where we have to be. First and most important, everybody throws the word GDP. I don't have to get into GDP. But in GDP terms, we are just around 4 trillion now. Maybe 4.1 and then the exchange rate and around, let's keep it at around 3.9 to 4 trillion. Or maybe 4.1. If for a country of 144 crores, maybe our sir will remove that and maybe make it 135 crores. Maybe if you need to remove some of the numbers. But I'm assuming that if we have to get to the big GDP level, our Prime Minister talks of a target of $30 trillion. That is 1 followed by 12 zeros. That is a trillion. And we are talking about 30 trillion. And dollar rate keeps going up, so we have to make more in rupees. Because when they made the plan, it was 80 something, 85 something. Now it's 95 something. So think of yourself as a business person, as a student, as anybody sitting over here and anybody watching. How do we get from 4 trillion to 30 trillion in 21 years? We have only 21 years. It's not a lot. Some of us may be there at that time, some of us may not be there. And somebody else will be taking it. So how do we do that? Second part is, to make that happen, we have to increase the per capita income. Because even Germany is around 4 point some, but Germany's population is just a little bit more than Karnataka. We can't compare to European countries. We have to look at ourselves. We have to compare with China maybe, because they are similar. We are at $2,500 to $3,000 per capita, in that range. It keeps changing. And the World Bank says a developed country, if you have to become Viksit Bharat, a developed country, you have to have a per capita income of $14,000 plus, 14,100 or something. That was there in 2024. How do we get there? That means we have to get from under 3,000 to about 14, maybe 15 or 16 or 17,000, and we have only 21 years. To get here itself, we took decades and decades, so we don't have a lot of time. It's a massive challenge. The third thing that we have over there is logistics cost, and the fourth is manufacturing. Because a lot of things have to happen, but these are the 4 things that we have to work on. Logistics basically means, for building a country, what is our transportation, what is our packaging, what is our storage and all that, that has to be as small as possible. If it is 5% or 6%, it's good. We were at some point 15, 20%. Now we are bringing it down. And that's a huge topic we can't cover in 10 minutes, but just remember that. And the fourth is obviously our next speaker, Ms. Aditi, would be speaking a lot about this manufacturing and defense and all. So that is the aspect, the fourth aspect, manufacturing. Manufacturing has to go up, but it has to be still a small percentage of our GDP. And how do we balance all this? So GDP, per capita, manufacturing, logistics, a lot of other things are there. So these are the things that we have to do. Now let's focus on whom do we target. See, today we have Modi government, we have a lot of things going on. 2047, somebody else will be there. It's a part of democracy. New people will come, new ideologies will pick over. It's unlike China, where the engineers run the country mostly, and then they have a succession plan and they know exactly what to do. Here we have a very chaotic system. But we are proud of our system because it works. As Madam was saying, we have the Vyakhyana and Tarka. We do a lot of that. So, whom do we target? There is a beautiful acronym that is set up for that, Gyan. Gyan mat dena, people say. But for this, we have to give Gyan. And all politicians in the world will talk about these four. First is G, which is Garib. Garibi hatao, G. Second is Y, the Yuva power. The Gen Z that we talked about, the millennials we talked about, the Gen Alpha. The third one is Annadata. Every politician in the world talks about Annadata. But they don't do much for Annadatas. They just talk about them. We have to do a lot. And the fourth is Nari Shakti. I'm very happy to see so many Naris over here doing wonderful job. And Nari Shakti. And sometimes the Nari herself can be Annadata as well as, Yuva. So there is a lot of overlap. So these are the people that we have to focus on. And if you just go and use, I know Madam said don't use ChatGPT, but I'll say use it. Use Claude, use DeepSeek, use a lot of them for productive work. Use that right now, not for rote learning, but for understanding. Try to understand what is this Gyan concept. There's a huge amount of material out there. Viksit Bharat Gyan, just search for it. And in each one of them, there is, like for example, you take the Annadata, the cold storage, because everybody talks about doubling the farmer's income, tripling the farmer's income, sending 6,000 rupees, sending 12,000, sending this bhagya. But at the end of the day, I'll give you a very simple example. India has the world's largest arable land. United States has the world's second largest. In the US, the active number of farmers less than 20 lakhs, 15 to 20 lakhs. In India, active number of farmers, 40 crores or more. And then we have other people. So look at it, similar area, they are not even 1% of our farmers and they are already doing so much work. That means it's productivity. I'm not saying farmers should get out of farming, but we have to make them productive. And what kind of technologies we can use? What kind of agri-techs we can use? So we got to start thinking about that area because this country cannot go anywhere further with all these beautiful glass buildings. I sit in these glass buildings all my life. I know how the MNCs and all these IT companies work. But my sincere request to everybody is start thinking about this Gyan. Especially, we have to work really hard so that in 2047, it will not be G anymore, it will just be Yan. We too should not have Garibi. Because everybody talks about Garibi hatao, we should really get to a stage where we should not be talking much about Garibi. It's a relative term. There will be poor people compared to others, but at least we should not have extreme poverty. And we are already doing good work. And the last part of my thing is, how do we do it? So we know what needs to be done. We know whom should we target. And the last part is, how do we do it? And for how do we do it, it's a massive amount of things. It can be a PhD thesis. But I'll just sum up in 4 lines. One line is, we have to start working on the digital infrastructure. Just compare India in 2026 with 2016. How we have run. How many of you have written a check in the last 1 month? Physical check? You used to write a lot of checks, right? Before? And now all we use the check is for giving a cancelled check to open an account in Zerodha or something, right? That's what we do. So we don't use checks. 10 years, our lives has changed. If I go to Doddaganapati temple, for 3 rupees for leaving a chappal, I have to give it in UPI. If I give a 10 rupee note, he says, no, I don't have change. Give it in UPI. 10 years back, nobody took UPI. They used to say, give me cash. So we have come a long way. I'm giving a simple example. We have a huge amount. We have all these digital infrastructure and we have the world's largest public data system like Aadhaar. We can go on and on. The second aspect is the logistics aspect. That is the most important thing and we don't really pay attention. We focus on protests, we focus on all the negative things and violence. Because as Sadhguru Jeti Vasudev was saying once, in India you become a big leader by stopping things, not by building things. And that was actually true. If you really build things, you're not a leader. You may be okay in the third page somewhere. But if you stop things and if you do a bandh and if you do a hartal, you are like a leader. You are like a big person. We have to get out of that Gandhi syndrome as it comes. We have to start working on, because when Gandhi was doing it was for foreigners were occupying. But we are doing the same system, we are using it for our own people. At some point we have to start working and making heroes out of people who build. So the last 2 aspects would be manufacturing and defense and others. The green energy and the blue logistics, lot of things are there. I will get into some other time hopefully with all of you on that. How do we do it? We have a whole thing there. what we need to do, whom should we target, how do we do it, everything is already there. You just go and search for Viksit Bharat, you have fantastic charts and documents and everything, you have to use it. And before I wind up, I sincerely request all of you to start writing, start talking about role models. Like next speaker will be talking about the space technology and sky route. We should be talking about Pawan and Naga. They are our real heroes. They are the real Gen Zs. Who, the first time in India's history, they sent a rocket carrying a satellite to space. We should be talking about Pawan and Naga in Hyderabad. Not the thing in Jantar Mantar. Jantar Mantar is also important, cleaning up the system. It's a part of democracy. But we are not even talking 1% about these Gen Z. We have to talk about, we have to talk about our Prahlad Ramrao, who worked so hard to get us Operation Sindhur's, Akash Teers and others, which keeps us protected. I can talk about role models all the time, but please pick up 10 to 20 role models. Start talking about them. And make sure that whenever we talk about youth, they need hope. Again, going back, we need people who build, we need people who change, we need people who are productive, rather than people who actually stop and do things. That's a part of life, but if we focus more on this, I think we will have a fantastic Viksit Bharat in 2047. We can definitely do it because what I have seen in the last 10 years, I have a lot of hope. I'm from 1980s and 90s. I have seen India at that time. It was very, trust me, at least the young people, we have come a very long way. We are very proud of where we are, but we have a long way to go. The gyan that we have to give, we have to keep giving till the G goes away and it becomes yan. Okay? All the best. Thank you very much.